Aloha, 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 dear soul. Welcome in Wednesday week. Happy to have you here. It's always good to have these talks. It really excites me so much to be here and figure out subjects to talk about in this one-way channel. So please go and reach out if there's anything that you would like me to speak about, so that I can just share what is my point of view and how you can turn around that situation in your own benefit. So this, quite recently, was not this week, but quite recently I had a conversation with a client of mine, and she was having such a hard time seeing a loved one really living in the past. Now this was a loved one of her parents, that was that is now in a state of being paralyzed, so the parent cannot move the body the way they are supposed to or that they are used to, and that's already for a long time, even when she was a little kid. But she's becoming more and more conscious of the effect that that situation has, and that that emotion that is coming up to her when she sees this parent sort of like being regretful all the time, not stepping out of that past, not stepping out of the victim also. And because she is changing around her way of looking at life, looking at situations, looking at people, taking responsibility through Ho'oponopono, she's really feeling that pain of seeing that parent living that way. She's becoming more and more aware of that pain. Now these are situations that you probably also have. She is not the only one. You know, my mother, I speak about my mother from time to time here in these sessions, but my mother is a very head-based person, and I always see her as a survivor. She has all these survival mechanisms that do not allow her to go to her heart space, that do not allow her to feel what needs to be felt. And it's a confrontation. So I can only imagine how big the confrontation is for someone who loves the parent, for you who loves your parent or who loves a certain person, that is sort of like disabling themselves. My mom is still quite vivid, and she can walk around and do everything, but the parent of this lady, the parent is paralyzed, you know? So they do not have that ability to move anymore. And then the only thing she feels she can do is look at it and feel powerless. Feel as if she cannot do anything to change that situation. And that is not true. Because what she can do is change around the way that she feels about that situation. And when she changes around the way that she feels about that situation, all the feelings, all the memories, all the emotions, when she manages to change that around, to look at this person, at this parent, and for you it's the same, in a more healed way, not with all the shame and the guilt and the poor this and the poor that, and it's really bad that they cannot do this and that anymore. And this applies to all of us, doesn't it? Well, when we see our parents that are becoming older and older, or our grandparents for that case, and they're becoming older and older, and you see that there are certain things they cannot do anymore, and how that affects them, it affects you. So when you start changing the way that you look at that situation, the way you deal with your emotions, with your inner whatever crap, whatever, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your feeling, like the feeling of being powerless, of having no means to help that person. When you change that around, you will see that there will get some changes around in that person. Because from the perspective where you are now, you are projecting also those feelings, emotions to that person. And that person reacts to those feelings and emotions that they are receiving from you and accumulate the ones that they're already having themselves. So at the moment that there's no more that projection of you towards that person, you will see that the behavior of that person towards you at some point will change. I'm not saying it will be from one day to the other, but you can see how miracles happen, because they do, and you are the one in charge. You cannot change their situation at this level of your awareness, but you can change the way you deal with the situation. And when you change the way you deal with that situation, you will see how the situation changes. It cannot be different. It cannot be otherwise. The situation has to change because you are changing. Because you're putting on a new hat. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Look at it from the other side. Like when you are not feeling very comfortable in yourself, when you are having a bad day, or all those kind of things, I don't know, when you have pain in your body, or you sprained your ankle, or your tooth aches, or your head aches, or whatever's happening in your life. Go to a moment that you had that happening in your life. So there are people that were communicating with you from a sense of pity. Oh, poor you, and you have this again, and bloody blah, and choo, and you know what I'm talking about. No, yeah, they are like sort of like pampering you, but from their feeling of this is you are a really poor person at that moment, and not poor in the way of money, but poor in whatever it is that you're going through. And then there are some people that are saying like, but you get over it, and you do this and that, and then whatever, and like take a next step and step out of this zone, and you can do this, and you have a different reaction to those second type of people than you have to the first type of people, don't you? And then there are people, I really hope you have people like that in your life, that nurture you without minimizing you. Because I'm not sure how you take it on, and for the ego it's different, but from your heart, I'm talking to your heart. When people are like, oh, poor you, and you're such a poor darling, and you have such a lot of things on your plate, and why is all of this happening to you, and now you also have this, and then you already had that. Is that really helping you? Your mind will say, yes, because it makes me feel seen. But in your heart you know that this is not the way you want to be seen. Being seen when you are in the poor you is making you more poor you, doesn't it? So, like, look at both of these situations and then see like, oh my God, so what can I do for the other person? Be there. Be there 100% for whatever they are going through. Send them your love. Use the 4 phrases if that is necessary. Use I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. Repeat those in your head towards that person. But treat them on the adult level and not on the little child. Because it's a little child that is screaming all this. I am such a poor little girl, poor little boy. It's the victim. Don't nurture the victim in others. I'm really serious here. We do it so automatically. But you don't have to. Enough food for thought, isn't it? Bye-bye, my darling. Take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, beautiful soul. If there's anything I want you to take from these videos, then it is the permission for you to shine your light. It's the most important thing. So go ahead, shine your light. I love you. Bye-bye.